All right, let's jump into something truly unique today, where the meticulous craft of watchmaking meets, well, the bold vision of modern art head on. We're looking at a really fascinating collaboration that caught our eye, the Ressence Type 8 and the distinct artistry of Daniel Engelberg. Our mission for this deep dive, and we're drawing insights from Ressence Type 8, Engelberg's artistic orbit, is to fully unpack how a sculptor's whole artistic philosophy can be, well, literally integrated into the display of a luxury watch. We want to explore that surprising synergy, between these two worlds that seem so far apart, and maybe why this piece challenges how we think about art and function.
Exactly. Yeah, what we're looking at here isn't just like art on a watch. It's really a new kind of kinetic art. It's a wearable piece that sort of makes you experience time through the artist's eyes, if you will. We'll dig into the aesthetics, sure, but also the clever engineering behind it all. It gives you a pretty good shortcut to understanding what makes these things genuinely special.
Okay, let's start with Ressence itself. They've always stood apart, haven't they? Right back to the Type 1. What is it about their way of showing time that's so distinctive?
Well, what's really key here is Ressence's relentless focus on their patented orbital display. They completely ditch traditional hands. Instead, you get time shown through these rotating discs, these satellites almost. It creates this sleek, very contemporary, and honestly, incredibly minimalist look. The Type 8 specifically. That's their most focused model. Just central minutes and a little subdial for the hours. That's it. And this single, really clean, dynamic canvas, well, you can imagine, it proved irresistible for an artist looking for something new.
Right, a different kind of dimension. And the artist who jumped on this canvas was Daniel Engelberg. His work, especially that Inside Out series you hear about, it almost sounds like it was made for Ressence. Can you tell us a bit more about his style? Why him?
Yeah, Daniel Engelberg, he's a sculptor and painter based in Munich. And his signature Inside Out series, it's really something. He creates these concentric circular forms, with these gentle color gradients all flowing out from a deep black center. This technique, it creates this amazing illusion of depth, of perspective, drawing your eye right into the middle, almost like a vortex. His pieces are actually milled from wood, then painted with these vibrant acrylics and sealed under glossy epoxy resin. It gives them this real structural rhythm, this visual depth.
Okay, wood and resin. Interesting texture.
Exactly. And if you think about Resonance's display, also with rotating circles and subdials, well, the connection, both philosophically and aesthetically, to Engelberg's work is just immediate. It's really profound. It's not just, a surface thing. It feels like they speak the same language, this organic geometry, this sense of inner movement.
That is a powerful connection. So how did that vision, that inside-out idea, actually get onto the Ressence Type 8 dial? How does it look?
Well, the collaboration resulted in an almost literal translation of Engelberg's art onto the watch. Ressence's founder, Benoit Mincion, he put it really nicely. He said, here, the dial and Daniel's painting speak the exact same graphic language, an organic geometry that feels meant to be. Go. So the Type 8's convex dial, which is made of grade 5 titanium, it's been meticulously engraved to show these concentric circular forms. And then these engraved sections are filled with a degrade of blue tones. That's that beautiful, subtle gradient effect.
Like different shades blending together?
Precisely. Almost like, the sky changing color.
Yep.
The source material describes it looking like circular stairs, or maybe even the accretion disks you see around a black hole. And that constantly revolving hour subdial. That becomes the central black hole. It's incredibly striking, almost hypnotic. It shifts as you look at it.
It sounds like something you'd keep looking at. But okay, the watch itself, the Type 8, that's the canvas here. Tell us more about its design, the engineering that makes it such a good fit for this kind of art project.
Right. Yeah, that's a key point. What about the watch itself? The Type 8 is Ressence's sleekest, most minimalist design.
Yeah.
It's really conceived as this ultra-smooth pebble for your wrist. It's crafted from grade 5 titanium. That's a premium alloy, super light, incredibly strong, hypoallergenic too, so it feels almost like nothing on the wrist. And it has this domed sapphire crystal that just flows right into the case, creating that smooth, almost liquid surface. Now, measurements, it's 42.9 millimeters across and 11 millimeter thick, and this is important because there's no crown and no traditional lugs.
No lugs at all.
None. It wears much smaller than the specs suggest. Feels more like a classic 39 millimeter watch. It's very, very ergonomic, really soft against the skin.
That no-crown design is definitely a Ressence signature. Does that simplicity come with any trade-offs or maybe unique benefits beyond just how it looks?
Absolutely. I mean, it definitely helps create that incredibly pure, streamlined shape,
Yeah.
like a smooth stone, right? But engineering-wise, designing a movement that you set and wind entirely from the case back, well, that presents its own challenges. All the operations happen by rotating the case back itself in two directions. It needs precision, but it keeps the outside super clean. So it simplifies the look while adding, some cleverness underneath. As for limitations, yeah, the water resistance is limited because of this architecture, only 10 meters. But look, Ressence has other models if you need something for swimming or diving.
Okay, that makes sense. But that handless display is still the main event here. I'm really curious. Mechanically,
Oh.
how do they do that? What's the magic under the hood?
Ah, right. That's where the Ressence Orbital Convex System, or
Yeah.
ROCS for short, comes in. That's the real engine room for this display. At the heart of the Type 8 is the most, let's say, essential version of their patented ROCS system. Now, this system isn't the whole movement. It's actually a complex module that sits right on top of a standard automatic ETA-based movement.
Okay, so there's a regular movement underneath.
Exactly. That base movement keeps the time, provides the power, and drives what would normally be the minute's hand. The ROCS module then takes that basic rotation and transforms it. It uses this series of incredibly precise little gears and ball bearings,
Ball bearings, really?
tiny ones, to manage the motion and lead to that off-center satellite disc that shows the hours. It's genuinely like a miniature kinetic sculpture. It turns simple rotation into that mesmerizing flat orbital dance you see on the dial. The biggest challenge, I'd imagine, is getting that perfectly flat, stable rotation with minimal friction while still being easy to read.
Fascinating. How something so complex mechanically can look so simple and elegant. Okay, so for anyone listening who might be tempted by one of these wearable artworks, what are the choices? How exclusive are we talking?
Right, so there are two distinct versions of this Type 8 Daniel Engelberg Art Watch. Each has its own personality. There's the DE1. That one has this really eye-catching palette of vibrant pink tones, and that color extends right onto the rubber strap. It's definitely the bolder choice, more expressive. Then there's the DE2. This one uses a more subtle turquoise and blue-green color scheme, which also continues onto its rubber strap, maybe a bit more mainstream or versatile. Both versions also come with an extra blue leather strap, which is nice, adds some flexibility. But here's the crucial part, exclusivity. Each edition is strictly limited, just 40 pieces worldwide.
Wow, only 40 of each.
Only 40. And the price is set at 19,000 Swiss francs, and that's before taxes. So definitely positioning it as a collector's piece.
What a fascinating deep dive. A timepiece that really does blur the lines, doesn't it, between art and engineering. We've seen how Daniel Engelberg's whole inside-out idea was so carefully, meticulously brought to life on the Ressence Type 8, creating something really quite unique in watches.
Yeah, we've looked at that synergy, haven't we? Between the artist's circular forms and Ressence's, revolutionary orbital display. And the mechanics behind it, the ROCS system, plus the thoughtful, minimalist design of the Type 8 itself. It's just a prime example, I think, of how something functional, an object, can also be a profound expression of art and technical skill. It offers a whole new way to kind of experience time.
So here's something for you, our listener, to think about. In a world where we tend to box things up, this is functional, that's artistic, what other everyday items could be transformed? If we saw them as potential canvases for this kind of unique artistic collaboration, what really stands out to you about how this particular watch challenges those lines and maybe even redefines what a watch can even be?